Addressing Inequities. Hello, I'm Abby Berger. I believe I'm an educator that gives every student a clean slate the second they walk in on the first day of school. I also am a huge believer in the idea that every student learns differently, so it is important to present instruction in multiple ways. I will create a safe learning environment by having my class set expectations for one another. And I believe that all of my students, no matter their race, ethnicity, where they come from, or their exceptionalities, have the ability to succeed not only as a student but throughout society and their communities. How has my perspective been impacted? The pandemic has definitely shifted my perspective of being a teacher. My practicum experience was completely remote. Students and educators learned many new technological skills before they could even start to learn academics. We tried to create a safe learning environment by implementing some lunch bunches, which were all over Google Meet. We implemented some family engagement by utilizing Class Dojo and Seesaw, which obviously aren't the most effective, but it was the best we could do at the time, and I now have a better understanding of how to be strong for students when the world is falling apart. The Black Lives Matter movement was also very impactful. My eyes were open to the inequities students face because of their skin color. Educators must become aware of their implicit bias so that they can address it. It is important to get to know your students' backgrounds and where they come from so that they feel understood. All students must feel that you believe in them and that they have the ability to succeed. And the Black Lives Matter movement has opened my eyes to the unjust world that I live in today. The political environment was very volatile this year. Students always pick up on their parents' beliefs and about what is occurring in the world. It is important that schools come together during these times of political strife, and politics can have a direct impact on students' lives, so it is important as an educator that we are aware of what is happening in order to protect all of our students. Teacher identity in addressing inequities and working with diverse families. So some of the inequities, establishing an accepting environment is very important. Educators must demonstrate confidence in displaying their identity, and the learning environment must create a sense of belonging and value of differences. For diverse families, family identity is valued throughout their child's education. Families need to know that as a teacher, we do not support the inequities in education today, and identity is important when creating relationships and providing an effective education for all students. Challenges teachers face when working with special education students. So some of the challenges are meeting the needs of all students within your classroom, especially accommodations and modifications that are on an IEP. The lack of communication between the special ed and the general ed teachers is oftentimes difficult. The pressure of flagging students for early intervention, and making sure all students are receiving the services they need for future success. Inequities that persist in education today and the support from teachers to students. So some inequities are teachers are not qualified to deal with the challenges they may face in certain settings. The teacher turnover rate in urban schools is increasing dramatically, which ultimately leaves students feeling misunderstood. Students of color are facing harsher disciplinary actions than their white counterparts, and there is a lack of material resources. The support teachers should give to their students. Our teachers must become aware of the inequalities occurring throughout education today. All students should be held at the same standard and expected to succeed in their own ways. Students need to know that their teacher believes in them and to always set high expectations for all students. Family engagement. So there's 3 strategies to welcome families. So families need to know from the jump that their engagement is expected and valued. To honor families, a family's knowledge of their child is very important, and always remember the parents are the experts. And to connect with families. So connect families to learning occurring in the classroom so that they can support their children to the best of their ability. The 5 guiding principles to go by are they are directly linked to learning. They strive to build and develop relationships between teachers and parents and between parents. They are inherently collaborative with equal participation and input from teachers, families, and students. They honor families' home languages, cultures, and experiences, and they strive to be interactive, providing many and varied opportunities to practice and learn together. And this is just a quote that I really liked and thought it fit this final project. So at the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to a child's success is the positive involvement of parents, by Jane D. Hull.